Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. I'm back in England from the nice long holiday, and today I want to talk a little bit about active income versus passive income. Okay, so I got back to England yesterday afternoon. I'm still dealing with a lot of jet lag. You know, went to bed at 11 last night, got up at 2 a.m., like just 3 hours later, wide awake, was up until 6, went back to bed until noon, right? And it was just, you know, I'm dealing with a lot of jet lag issues, but it's actually kind of nice to be back, right? Most of the time when I go from San Diego back to Wantage, I feel a little bit, you know, I feel homesick. I feel like, you know, it's, you know, missing everybody already, and I do miss everybody, you know, all my family and stuff, my family back there, you know, coming back here. But it's also really exciting because I get to work on some Overpass stuff. I have the car waiting, all this kind of stuff. We got the more videos, get back on a consistent schedule, right? And dealing with a lot of you know, the stuff that's kind of crept up. So one of the big things, I hope you guys can hear me okay with the wind. One of the big things that became really clear over the last couple weeks being in San Diego was the problems with the time difference, right? The nice thing, so basically, whenever I talk about, you know, the Overpass as a business, I talk about active income versus our passive income. So our active income is client work. It's you know, whatever we do on a day-to-day basis. Well, I guess it's just client work really. And our passive income is the app income. So that could be from the ad networks, from the app revenue, all that kind of stuff. And our passive income, it's really low at the moment, but it's still okay. So it's like and I'll go through this. I'll give you, like, I'll show you exactly what it is sometime within the next few episodes, because, you know, I don't really mind. But it's like between 100, right now it's between 120 and 150 pounds a day is what we're making through the apps and stuff like that. So, and a year ago it was much higher. At this time last year it was much higher, but AdMob is really low, the RPMs at the moment. I'm still trying to hold out because the impressions are still the same, but my RPM's really low. And I'm kind of hoping that comes back, and I'm really, you know, one of the things I might do over the next few weeks is change ad networks, right? Because it's concerning, right? So we make between 130 and 150 a day now, more on the, yeah, about 140. All right, so but you know, am I spending less than that while I'm on holiday? Hell no, I'm spending more than that, especially on holiday. So this is one of the things when I was in San Diego for 2 weeks, right, is my apps keep making me money, right? The passive income keeps coming in, but we also have client work. So, you know, so I was, and with the client work, it was a lot more difficult because we had the time zone difference. So, like, say one of my clients, we were supposed to release something to them just before I left, but things went a bit late. But we have a team in India who's working on it, so they're handling a lot of the stuff. But there's a lot of like queries and stuff that come up that I have to deal with. So what was happening was I'd go to bed like at 11, you know, 10 or 11 or whatever, and I would have an email almost exactly when I went to sleep. Like if I just waited around a little bit, but you never know. So it'd be like, you know, 12:20 in the morning, there'd be an email, and then like no response, and then I would get up like at 8, which would be, you know, 4 p.m. UK time, and I would respond to that email and go, you know, so if the Indian team will email me about something, I'll have to go back to the client with something. So I'll go to the client gives a response, and I'll go back to the Indian team, but of course they have to respond the next day. So things that should have taken hours were taking days, right? And this is all part of the active income. And plus, you know, I'd get up in the morning and everybody's, hey, good morning, all this kind of stuff, you know, at my mom's kitchen table, right? And I'm just sitting there typing away and just, yeah, I'm sorry, I just have to deal with this stuff, which I hate being that guy, right? So, you know, if I have to choose between active income and passive income, I will always go with passive income, right? We're talking about apps that we released years ago are still making us money, and we got, you know, active income, or which is, you know, if you're not around to handle it, then things go really wrong. So, you know, but most everyone realized I was on holiday, so they were trying to, you know, keep, you know, everything to a minimum, keep their expectations low, right? So one of the things we always talk about is why, you know, and one of the things I think about a lot is why don't we just focus completely on passive income, right? So, you know, I mean, if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know, and a lot of you guys probably have. I've read it several times over the last 15, 20 years. I can't remember when I first read it, but, you know, he talks about the story of a village that needs water, right? So they hire two competing companies. One of them buys a bunch of buckets, goes down to the water, brings it back every day, immediately starts making money, and another one goes away and starts building a system. So they're building pipes, they're getting investors, they're investing a lot of money early, and they're building, you know, that system in place, right? And I think about this analogy a lot. So the guy who's carrying the buckets, he's making money initially. He's going, what's this idiot doing over there? He's working with pipes and, you know, setting up piping and all this kind of stuff. But eventually the piping goes live, you know, the system goes live, and they're able to sell water at a much cheaper rate. And he has to hire more people with more buckets, and, you know, pretty soon he can't keep up, right? And this is something I think about a lot. So with our active income, with the client work, that's bucket carrying. That's immediate pay, you know, so we get an immediate money and you know, guaranteed money. So, you know, if we take on a client work, we expect to be paid. If we create a new app, we hope to be paid. We hope that that's gonna you know, work out, right? And it also requires a lot of investment first, right? I've read a lot of books about passive income and how it's easy just to write an ebook or buy stuff on Amazon and sell it on Amazon, or doing apps and all this kind of stuff. And it always makes it sound so easy. Like, all you have to do is create this app, put it on the app market, and then the money just flows in, right? And we all know that that's just, you know, that's bullshit, right? That never happens that way. What happens is it's like pushing a boulder, right? You put everything in place, and once you release that app, nothing happens, and you have to push, and you have to invest, and you have to start getting some momentum, right? I haven't, you know, it's been months since I've spent anything on advertising for the apps. You know, it's just, and it, you know, and they still continue to generate revenue. But in the beginning, I was spending a lot of time doing that, pushing that boulder, trying to get some momentum, right? And I think that's the same with all passive income, right? I love, you know. So this is one of the reasons why I don't, you know, and every so often, right, if I have an argument with a client or something, I said, that's it, we're just doing passive. We're just going to do our own apps. We're going to forget all this kind of stuff. But we still have bills to pay. And there's still a lot of money to be made there, right? So I don't mind making an app for a client who they're hoping to have a bit of passive income, but they have to handle all of that, you know, building the momentum, all of that investment, and then we just get paid for the work that we do, right? And I'm completely fine with that. It's much easier when I'm in the same time zone, right? You know, and, you know, but the ideal always should be is to build up enough passive income so you have situations like that. So even if you can't find any clients, you still have money coming in. Even if you have, you know, yeah. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, a lot of people tell me, why don't you just, you know, why don't you give up client work? Just focus on your own apps. And the problem, and the reason is I'm never 100% certain with that. And we still have bills to pay. And we still have stuff to do, and there's still a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of people who need apps done. There's a lot of companies that need apps done, right? You're starting to see more companies coming on board who need not apps for, you know, we're going to make it rich on the app market kind of thing, but like, we have something for some internal processes that we need. We have, like, our employees need this app to help them do something or other, or, you know, all this kind of stuff. And we're starting to see, like, again, I keep saying the same thing. If you watch all the time, you know, we're going the same way that the web went, where the web was in the .com stages, you know, in the early days, it was like, I'm going to launch this website and become rich. And then it became, I'm going to create this tool for this organization, and I'm going to get paid on a license basis and all this stuff. So anyway, I'm rambling on, I know, but it's nice to be back, you know, despite you can see it's all cloudy and overcast, but it's, you know, it's not so hot as it was. But I miss San Diego, and I can't wait to go back next year. That's my goal. This is the goal I'm going to tell you before I actually reach it, is to go back to San Diego again next year. Anyway, that's it for today, Saturday. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. No, I'll talk to you guys on Monday.